Suffering and struggle. Are you playing in this game where your success is dependent upon how much you suffer or how much you struggle? So, we're going to chat about this today. We're going to dissect some of the yummy relationship that I see quite often with myself and also with clients about how their success is dependent upon how much they're struggling or how much they are suffering. And we're going to look at an alternate story that you can adopt so that this road to success is a lot more easy, it's a lot more fun, it's a lot more fulfilling, and there just doesn't have to be so much hardship as you get towards and you start realizing the huge dreams that you have in your business. Welcome to those who are watching live. Welcome to those who are on the replay, #replay, say hi. I love lots of interaction, and any questions that you have, please let me know in the comments as we go along. So this beautiful relationship that we have, I think this is very prominent, especially in the spiritual community and for all of us in the soul-led business revolution. In my space, you are all soulful entrepreneurs who probably have been subject to or have been schooled in some way where you have equated suffering to enlightenment. Okay, so anyone here resonating with that piece of information or that story? I know personally that when I grew up Catholic, and then as I explored other types of spirituality, there was an underthread of suffering or struggle equating it, like it being the gateway to our enlightenment. And I actually think that this teaching is starting to become a little irrelevant. Like, we don't have to go through that pathway. There is a new pathway of which we get to come out the other side wiser, more connected, and it doesn't have to equate with struggle anymore. And how I'm seeing this playing out with businesses, with conscious people, spiritual people, soul-led people who are creating businesses around their soul's purpose, is that they have unconsciously taken upon this teaching that is permeated within like all religions, all spiritual paths. They have taken this teaching on and they have created this story around their enlightenment, their business enlightenment. And what I mean by that is their success, their big dreams that they have in their business. And so what happens when we take this idea is, of course, every time we have success, or every time that we are striving to succeed in whatever way that means to you, okay, we somehow have to have a struggle to overcome, or a struggle at the other end, right? So there is not often a time, especially when I'm first seeing clients, where I see them succeed without the struggle. And I know that they've broken into a new story, that they're playing out a new story within themselves when they are able to have success minus any of the struggle or any of the suffering. So as we go along, let me know if this is resonating with you. Is your relationship with struggling and suffering the way that you succeed? Yeah. And I used to think that struggle or suffering was necessary for success. And I am starting, I'm a slow learner. I'm starting to decide that this is not how success needs to come to me anymore. Now, the way that I think this has come in is, yes, it's been the spiritual teachings that I have had before, where struggle or suffering equates to enlightenment, i.e. success, if that's where you think success is, yeah. So to get to the end destination, we must have that struggle or suffering. And it also has come up through my years as being, an amateur athlete when I was younger. So there was always that pushing. There was always my coaches pushing me to the edge. And that physical suffering or struggle was what I had equated to being able to win races. Yeah. And so that upbringing in me brought this into my business. And I see it play out with a lot of people in the business realm. Like there has to be a struggle, there has to be suffering. Aloha, Facebook user. Please allow StreamYard to be part of your experience, or let me know who you are, because I can't see your name. I love it when it just drops in without trying. Absolutely. I hate it when it's a push. Yes. And that spiritual stuff. Oh, life is a veil of tears, etc. Yes. I think that we are moving into another way of seeing how we can connect with all that is, that doesn't equate to suffering. And this is not to poo-poo old spiritual teaching, because obviously it is freaking awesome and it has taught us so much. But I do feel like on a global level, on a consciousness level, hi Sophie, yay, so glad you could join me. On a conscious level, we are evolving. And our next step is to move away from the necessity of suffering to create success, or necessity of suffering to drop into all that is, into the enlightened space, if you like to call it that. So I know that Sophie has actually created a lot of things without trying, and this might have been a new story for her. And this is the story that I invite for all of you who are watching live, or no, I still cannot see your name. I'm sorry, Sophie. This is the new story that I invite for you who are watching the replay and you who are catching me live. How can I disconnect the idea that struggle or suffering has to occur in order for me to succeed, in order for me to be able to have everything that I desire in my business and in my life? And I want you just to breathe that thought in for a moment. What would that look like if I took away the struggle and the suffering, and it was no longer part of the way that I create success? Ooh, what does that feel like? What does that feel like? And for some of us, including myself, this is a really interesting and new and unknown way of operating. Yeah. I can see you, Sophie. Love that. Yes. This is an unknown space because previously, a lot of my evidence of when I've succeeded has come with some kind of struggle or some kind of suffering. And I even found myself saying to my coach several times, yes, I have a coach, because everyone should have a coach. I said, I need the challenge. Like, the challenge allows me to rise. And she's like, but where are you putting your challenge, Nick? What are you creating so that's a challenge for you? And I was like, very interesting. So taking away the struggle, taking away the suffering that you have equated to be necessary for you to grow and expand your business. I popped this idea onto a Facebook group, just saying that we don't need this anymore. The struggle and the suffering is not necessary for our growth. In fact, it stunts our growth. We're moving into a new paradigm, a new way of operating on this earth, a new consciousness. And that level of consciousness is not this. That level of consciousness is more equated to the growth happens not with the struggle. The growth happens when we choose not to struggle. I'll say that again. The growth happens when we choose not to struggle. That is where I believe that consciousness is moving towards. That is where I believe our wisdom is moving towards. That it is now going to be the growth will start when we make a conscious choice to no longer struggle. Yeah. And what I mean by this is not that we're going to have fluffy, awesome shit all the time. Yeah, it's not going to be like, oh, my life is so perfect and everything is working out for me and there's nothing that I can see that is crappy in my life. No, because you're a human and you're living life. What I mean by taking away the struggle or the suffering is our attachment to it. And our attachment to it is a conscious choice. Shit happens. It happens in our life. We can't stop it. And then it is our choice whether we decide that that is a struggle or whether we need to suffer from that. Or the alternate is, yeah, shit happens. And I can't do anything about that. The only thing that I can control is how I am reacting or responding to that thing. Do I go in with struggling? Do I go in with the idea that I have to suffer? And this really takes us back to the idea of letting go, allowing. Yeah. When we can allow everything to happen in our lives, no matter what, and we don't wish for it to change. Yeah, when we stop pushing against it to change somehow, even when it's happened. We take away that resistance to that thing that is causing us struggle or suffering, then we take away the struggle and suffering because we are in total acceptance and allowance of what is happening to us right now. Can you feel that? Hi to those who have joined us. We are talking about taking away the struggle and suffering associated with success in your business. For those of you catching the replay, #replay, let me know if this is dropping in for you. How would this change your relationship with success in your business if you were to drop the struggle and to drop the suffering? Let me catch up on some of these comments. Yes, joy is so much more powerful as a growth tool. It is. But you know what? We are hardwired. Most of us are still living in this kind of animalistic way of responding to the world. And that part of us, the animalistic side of us, really responds to pain, really strongly responds to pain. And so the invitation is for our evolvement as a species. Considering we think that we're the most intelligent species on the planet, we better bloody stand up to it. We better come up to the mark. And one of these ways that we can do this is deciding that joy is a more powerful growth tool than the pain. That is the invitation to evolve. So if you were to take away the struggle and the suffering, yeah. And this struggle and suffering is, I have to push to get what I want, or something happens and I have to overcome it. And so therefore I can overcome it and then I can succeed. Any of those stories associated with success, how much easier and how much faster could you get to the thing that you desire to have in your life? Would it be a lot easier? Drop me a yes if you think that it would be. I'm going to tell you a story about how this has played out for me before. So are you okay? I'm quickly going to go over an idea that I can't remember who came up with this originally or coined it, but the hero's journey. So for those of you who don't know the hero's journey, I'll just quickly go through it. Basically, there's stages of how people go through the hero's journey, and it's what movies are based on, stories are based on. It's basically like first the hero has to be called to something greater, and then the hero rejects that call, and then they accept the call to become something greater. Then they go through the struggle and the challenge, and then they call on a mentor to help them, and the mentor helps them get through the struggle and challenge. And then there's one last battle to be fought before they can get to the thing they want. And then they fight the battle and they win, and then they come home and they are a new person. Yeah, that's basically the hero's journey. Could you hear any movie scripts / story scripts, epic fairy tales in that hero's journey? Yes, like basically all of them. And so we have been, this is the basis of really powerful storytelling. That's for another live. But what I want to say is that we have been programmed from eons of storytelling. This is why humans respond to storytelling so powerfully. Yes, brainwashing, exactly, Sophie. We have been programmed through eons of storytelling since we could talk since we could communicate through story, and we have been playing this over and over for centuries about how in order for you to change and to become someone new and to create the thing you want, there must be trials and tribulations. There must be struggle. And you see this in marketing. It's very smart marketing, right? This is how we can play out the hero story in our marketing. Again, this is another live. But what this is doing really is keeping people in the cycle of struggle and suffering equates to success, or struggling and suffering equates to my growth. It is time to change that story. It is time to not have a hero's journey. Now, the reason I brought up the hero's journey is because I realized that this is what I have been doing a lot with my life. Yeah, my coach brought it up and I was like, she's like, look, I can see that you just love being the hero and saving the day. And saving the day is more like saving myself, right? Look at how much stuff I had to overcome in order to create the thing. I'm awesome. She's like, why can't you just be a Mario brother that jumps over the obstacles and gets the prize? And I was like, well, to be honest, my ego loves being the hero. I want to be the lady on the horse, like fighting all the monsters and coming out covered in blood and getting the prize. Not a Mario brother, like jumping over and like winning the mushroom or whatever they win, right? So there is an attachment. Oh, fuck, this is me. Well, it's good to know. This is the first step, right? Is to know that you have decided you need to be the hero. Talk about ego. Talk about being in your fucking ego. Yeah. And this is what we have been programmed. As I was saying, we have heard the hero's journey over and over since we started storytelling. That this is the way. Heroes are celebrated. Heroes are seen. If I wasn't a hero, would I be celebrated or seen? Yeah. Hi, Facebook user. I'm not sure who you are. You either need to allow StreamYard to be part of your experience, or let me know who is here so I can address you. I want to be a Mario brother. Yes. And I think that's where we need to move, right? Is to become the Mario brother. This is really dropping in for me. Awesome, Sophie. I'm so stoked. Oh, hello, Anna. Yes. So there is the want. Yeah. So we now know what we want. We want to actually not suffer or struggle anymore. We want to take away the hero's journey in our idea of success. We want to be able to grow minus the struggle and suffering, because that is the old way. We're now moving into a way where joy is the indicator, where joy is the growth mark, not the suffering. And now we have to consciously choose that in every single moment when we talk about our success or our growth in business. Yeah. When am I making decisions where I allowing myself to struggle and suffer when it's not necessary? So let me take this back to a business context. I was really struggling with very technical things, like Facebook ads. Struggling, hating it, suffering from it, like hours of not understanding what the hell is going on. It's not my speciality. I don't know it. So then finally I learned, and I decided to hire someone who is a genius at that thing, who knows that thing inside out, who loves doing that. Yeah, taking away the struggle and the suffering that I think was necessary to equate to success. So aloha to those watching replay, #replay. Let me know what is dropping in for you. We're talking about taking away the struggle and the suffering with success in your business. So we need to now move from, I know what I want, to consciously making decisions and acting upon the idea that we don't need to struggle anymore. So what would I do if I didn't have to struggle or suffer? What would I do to make this easier for myself? I don't feel like I'm on the hero's journey, but I'm suffering in my business. I would challenge that, Anna, and I would say, are you just stuck on a part of the hero's journey? Yeah. Are you stuck in the challenge part of it? So what I really see from the idea of the hero's journey, or the idea of, having to suffer in order for us to go through, get through, and then be able to talk about, oh, I got through all these things and so therefore I succeeded, is for me, and this is for me, so see if this lands for you. For me, it was really about, it allows me to prove myself. It allows me to prove how awesome I am. If I have to overcome this to get what I want, then I can say, well, I'm amazing. Again, ego trip, total ego trip. Yes, so maybe you might be stuck in a particular part of the hero's journey, Anna. Yes, you're not experienced with the hero's journey. So when we're not aware that we're on a hero's journey, we just get stuck in a chapter. Yeah, so it could be that you're just stuck in the suffering part. Yeah, where you are being challenged and you're not rising to the challenge. So there's the challenge, the challenge is there, and you're not rising to it. That's also causing some suffering because you know what you want to do, but you haven't done it. Or it could be that you're in the challenge and you haven't called on the people. They always call on the mentor, right? So it's always calling on the mentor to help you move through the challenge. Yeah, it could be that at that space too. Yeah. Can't wait to catch the replay very soon. Awesome, Jay. That'd be amazing. So what I want to leave you with on this live is really about noticing your relationship with struggling, suffering, and success. Yeah. Really notice. Take the next week. Okay. So you've got a week till the next Elevate Thursday. Every single Thursday, I'm here at 11 o'clock NZT, talking about something that hopefully blows your mind. You've got a whole week to explore this idea. What is my relationship with struggle, suffering, and success? Journal it. Ask yourself, where have I allowed myself? Where have I allowed myself to struggle and suffer? Where do I allow myself to suffer and struggle in my business when I know I could make it easier? Yeah. What does struggling and suffering, how do those two things serve me? What do they allow me to do or be or have or say that I am? Yeah. I gave you an example. For me, it was that I could claim that I'm awesome and a hero because I get to overcome those things. Yeah, total ego trip. If I was to take away struggle and suffering, what would my trajectory to success look like? What would it be like? What is necessary for me to no longer struggle, to no longer suffer, and allow myself to achieve with ease and joy? Mission accomplished, yes, Sophie. So ponder upon those things. If you are aware of the hero's journey, look at, maybe you're at a point now where you are sick of playing the hero's journey. So another question could be, am I playing out the hero's journey over and over and over and over again? If the answer is yes, how does that serve me? And then, do I want to continue being the hero? Knowing that it comes with suffering and struggle. Hopefully you're going to choose to go, you know what, I don't need to be the hero anymore. I don't need to prove myself to anyone anymore about how amazing I am, about how much I can go through and still succeed. I don't need that story. And you can become the quiet achiever who cruises through to create into reality everything that you wish for your life and your business. And you might not get the big, huge clap and the welcome home brigade from all the people, whoever those people are. Yeah, we have those people. My people are probably my family, to be honest. I'd love that. I'd love for them to have a huge celebration about how awesome I am. Yeah, you might not get that. You won't get that because you'll be doing it quietly. And can that be okay? Can that just be freaking awesome for you to have it be so easy, so simple, so delicious? Yeah, I don't want to be in the story anymore. Good to know. Now we know. So I've given you quite a few nuggets. I would go through this replay and jot down the journaling prompts that I have given you. Go through the week. Really become aware of what you are doing to perpetuate the story, to keep yourself in the story. Yeah. That is always the first step. Is first you made the choice. Yes, so I don't want to do this anymore. Then you become aware. Yeah. Or you become aware that you're in a thing and you make the choice. And then the next step is always then taking the action that is aligned to what it is that you desire instead, which is not the struggle, which is not the suffering. Yes, ease and simple equals bliss. Exactly. Doesn't come with the fanfare. And I honestly think a lot of us are addicted to the fanfare. We still have this part of us that wants to be celebrated really loudly. So as you go through the week, please explore this. Come back into the group. This is something new that I'm inviting into Soul Led Business Revolution. Come back into the group. Hashtag Elevate Thursdays. And let us know what is dropping in for you as you explore what we have talked about. Yeah. So as you go through your week, through the next week until the next Elevate Thursday, you can drop into the group using the hashtag Elevate Thursday and let us know what is changing for you. What are you becoming aware of? What are your next steps to creating a business and life that feels really freaking awesome? I live for the applause, Sophie. Okay, so there's going to be some fun things here for you. Okay, we can still get applause, but I think there's a different way, and I would love for you to dive in and discover that. All right, my lovelies, thank you for joining me live. Sophie, Anna, Jay, briefly. For those of you watching the replay, thank you for taking the time to watch the replay. I look forward to hearing how this next week unfolds for you as you become aware of this pattern that you might be in. Until next Thursday, same time, 11 o'clock New Zealand time, 9 o'clock Melbourne time. Every single Thursday, I come in with another nugget of idea, another nugget of wisdom, hopefully, another idea for you to ponder about how you could change your mindset or energy and how this could really help you move into that next phase of awesomeness for your business. All right, lots of love. Take care. Mwah, mwah, mwah. See you next time.